Vaheguru, 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 Vaheguru.
This Bani is by Guru Arjan Dev Ji Patsha, and the first two Baniyan were by Guru Nanak Dev Ji Patsha. So then that kind of leaves us to thinking that the first two Baniyan, even though they were by Guru Nanak Dev Ji, and these come together in Guru Granth Sahib Ji consecutively, and they're all three of them are linked as well. So when I think that how comes Guru Arjan Dev Ji Patsha Ji contributed a Bani to Guru Nanak Dev Ji Patsha's first two Baniyan, the only thing that comes to my mind is that Jot Oha Jugat Sai Sehkaya Fer Palatiye. Basically, this Pangati comes from a Bani called Ram Kali Ki War, and this Pangati is by Satta and Balwand Ji, who were two Kirtaniye that contributed their beautiful words within Guru Granth Sahib Ji Patsha's Bani. And what they're saying here is that Jot Oha, that the Jot, the light, Oha basically remain the same. Ohi. The arth to Oha here doesn't mean over there, it means Ohi, means the same. It's saying Jot Oha, Jogat Sai, Sehe here means king. So we've been going through this word in the other Bani as well, and it's often been coming up as Soho. So some people pronounce it as Shehe as well. So Jot Oha, Jogat Sai, Sehe Kaya, Fer Palatiye. They said all that happened was that king changed his body, just to make sure everyone's on their toes. So which word within this Pangati means body? So out of this Pangati, so Jot Oha Jugat Sai Shehkaya Fer Palatiye, which word out of this Pangati means body? Excellent. Yes, where did that voice come from? Okay, there you go. So the word Kaya, it's spelled without a bindi there, but its original form is with a bindi, so it would be pronounced Kaya. So it's saying that the king just changed his body, and the Jot and the light remain the same. So it doesn't matter whether it is Guru Nanak Dev Ji or Guru Arjan Dev Ji Patsha Ji. Guru Arjan Dev Ji Patsha continued that the Baniya that Guru Nanak Dev Ji Patsha Ji uchard first. Okay, so let's go through this word. What does the word Gunavanti mean? So let's just get the Sangat on this to what does Gunavanti mean? Anybody? Gunavanti, what the word means? Okay. Okay, so Panji's just said Gunavanti means Guna nal pari hui. Can somebody contribute in English as well? Sorry? Yeah, okay, yes, Guna Vali. Yeah, Guna nal pari, virtuous bride, huh? So Gunavanti just means Guna Vali. Literally, that's what it means virtuous bride. Friedkot Steek, which is our most original translation of Guru Granth Sahib Ji Patsha Ji's Bani. When I mean original, I mean as in the complete translation of Guru Granth Sahib Ji's Bani. Friedkot, they've just worded it slightly different. They've added the word Prem to it, and they've translated it to Prem Gunvali, that a bride with the virtue of love, which I thought was quite nice. And now I'm going to kind of give you a perspective of how I see the word Gunavanti and what I feel what it is when I read this Bani, and so what it means to me. So when I think of the word Gunavanti, I think of Gunavanti being somebody, when Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Patsha says that Jo Prani Mamata Tajai Lobh Moh Ahankar, then Patsha says that Kaho Nanak Apan Tare Auran Let Udar. So basically what Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Patsha is saying here is that person that is Jo Prani, Prani meaning that being, that mortal, that person. Get the Jo Prani, Prani literally means somebody that's got pran inside of them, that has got breath inside of them. Guru Tegh Bahadur is saying Jo Prani Mamata Tajai. Mamata, does anybody know what Mamata is? It's in the translation, just to make sure that we remember these words, because they do come up in Gurbani often. What's Mamata? Hanji. Okay, so often is really good because so what happens is often this word mamata is related to when we say ma di mamata, but that gets confused to often what Guru Sahib Ji is referring to as mamata to be. So like mamata within this particular translation, what is it, Mano? So if you look at this pangati here, Jo Parani Mamta Taja, if you're reading the translation, what is mamta within this translation? That mortal who renounces. There you go. Okay. So mamta here is translated to possessiveness. Okay, that feeling when you feel something is yours, that something is mine. Okay, and that feeling of something being mine comes from ego. So ego is basically when we think we are separate from Waheguruji and we think we're a separate entity. So from that, from ego, then comes mamta. Mamta is when you feel e miraya, a miraya. So over here, it's not in the positive sense when the word mamta is linked to a motherly love and a motherly instinct. That's often how the word is used in India, and what they'll say Madi Mamta. When they're saying Madi Mamta, what that means is not in a negative way in this sense. Madi Mamta refers to when a mother has got absolute unconditional love for a child, and when she's doing something for a child, she's got that emotion within what she's doing. So for example, like a mother making a pronta, and a mother is thinking in he's thinking, he just nudged his mum. Aaj mile si? Did you get some? Was it Sundays? Sundays. Right, Sundays. Okay, cool. So what happens, so when we say Madi Mamta, that's in a positive way. What we're saying there is like, so imagine a mother that is making a pronta for a child, and she's not got that thought that I've just got to do this, I don't want to be here, oh my God, like, you know, I'm just always tied up in having to do something. So Amadi Mamta means when she's actually fully there and present to making that pronta, and she's feeling that my son's gonna really enjoy this, my daughter's really gonna enjoy eating this, or it might not just be for their own child. The next door a child might run in. If she only had that feeling for her own child, then that would be called moh, that would be called attachment. So again, negative. But mamta is a very positive thing. She could put that feeling and emotion in even if the next door a neighbor's child ran in, and she's feeling and she's putting that energy into that food and thinking that they'll be nourished with this, they'll really enjoy this, no matter what child it is. Okay, so that's separate to the mamata that Gurbani talks about. Over here, it's talking about that feeling of mind when you feel possessive over something, when you get attached to something and you can't see past it. Guru Sahib is saying, Jo Prani, that being that mortal, the mamata taje. Taje means renounce. That renounces, mamta renounces this possessiveness feeling, and then lob and greed and moh and attachment and ahankar and ego. Then Guru Sahib Ji says that Guru Nanak Gurdwara Smethwick, that person has saved themselves, they've got across themselves, they're out of all of this attachment of that feeling possessiveness, of that feeling of lobe. So they're out of all of that, they've escaped. So tare means when you are saved, basically when you get across something. And then the Guru Sahib is saying, obviously they liberated themselves, and then Guru Nanak Gurdwara Smethwick. See again, so this very pankti teaches us when Guru Sahib Ji talks about being saved, getting across, being liberated. So this tare here means being liberated. They're not referring to when we die and then we get a place in heaven or something. When Guru Sahib Ji talks about being liberated, they're talking about when we have overcome these things and renounced these things. Okay? So Guru Sahib says, they liberate themselves, and what do they then, what have they got the power to do then? Auran let udar. Auran means others, let means to take, udar, then they've got the power to take others with them, save others as well. Why? Because they can see clearly now. Because it's not that they're stuck in their little world and they're not able to see what somebody else is in. So when you're stuck in your own little attachment, you can't actually see life as it is. You can't see clearly. And if you've gotten out of something yourself, you know how to. You've gone through the process. Once you've gone through the process, then you're able to help others as well. Just like Bhagavad Friji says, that this is when I looked around, I saw the whole world burning. And then Bhagavad Friji says, it says, but when I rose above and I got out of my own problems, then I was able to see that others are in problem too. So it gave me clarity in life that puts me in a position to be able to help and save others as well. I feel, for me, this is who a Gunvanti is. Not somebody that is just virtuous, but somebody who, the picture, basically what that represents is somebody that's overflowing with these overflowing with goodness. And wherever this person goes, they rub off on other people, just naturally. And they just end up being a good influence on other people. That's what Gunvanti is for me personally. And then again, another Pangati that just relates to this is something that we read all the time. We read every day. And that is that Jini Naam Te Aaya Ge Masakkat Kaal Nanak Te Mukh Ujle Keti Shutti Naal. So let's just get somebody to translate this first. So Jini here means Jena Ne Vi. Whoever has. Yes. Naam Te Aaya. Who has focused, not says God's name here, it says Te Aaya. Jinne Dhyan vich us Akal Purkh da naam rakhya. Who has focused on the name of God. Okay? So focusing on the name of God means when you actually know that being whose name you are saying, when you're actually focusing on that being, on the virtues and the qualities of that being, that's what it means to focus on the name of God. Okay? So those that have done that have absorbed themselves in Akal Purkh in Vaheguruji's qualities, Jini Naam Te Aaya, then what's happened to them? Ge Masakkat Kaal. Ge means they have gone. They have gone by, what have they done before they've gone by doing what? They've gone doing Masakkat. So if you notice the way I'm saying this word, I'm saying Masakkat, okay? But if you just look at the word itself, if you pronounce it as it's written, who would know how to pronounce it as it's written? Hanji? That's how we say it, but that's not how it's written. How is it written? Yes, it's written Maskat. What are we doing to make it into Masakkat? What are we doing to it? What are we adding to it? Adak, yes, excellent. So again, just to know out, so for your information, that we've got no adaks. Guru Sahib Ji hasn't used adaks in Gurbani, but we have to add adaks. So again, the importance of learning Gurbani, how to learn how to read Gurbani properly, so that we know when to add these things. Okay. So the Punjabi word, original word, Masakkat is how? What's the original word? Mashakkat. It's actually a shirt originally in Punjabi. Mashakkat ya labz. Okay. So somebody put that into a sentence for me now.
What would you say differently to what's written?
Okay, so the way Guru Sahib Ji has written Gurbani, they haven't always put certain sounds in. Okay, but the thing about Gurbani is about learning and then you knowing that original word. So then about learning the original language of that word. So we know this is Punjabi word. In Punjabi it comes with a adak. So the word is pronounced Masakkat. Okay, and there's no such word as Maskat. Okay, and it's just something to know exactly why Guru Sahib Ji did that and why they didn't add the adaks at the time. I've heard various things. Some people say that people back then, a lot of sounds wasn't used very often, so they wouldn't add. So adak is like a little thing at the top, just it's like an like a smiley face. There you go. Okay, yeah, smiley face sounds good. And they said, so back then people just knew how to pronounce that word, and in written form a lot of the sounds weren't actually used, but people just knew that this is how this word is said. So that's one of the arguments. So Guru Sahib is saying those that have made an effort and have absorbed and given themselves to Akal Purkh Ji, Vaheguru Ji, then what happens? Nanak, Guru Nanak Dev Ji Pachi saying that Nanak Te Mukh Ujjale, Te Te meaning referring to those people that have done that. Mukh means, ujjale means, sorry? Hanji, clean, radiant, bright, okay? So Nanak te mukh ujjale, their faces are radiant. It doesn't mean like as in literally, doesn't mean that it's like kind of physical glow to it, okay? So it's just meaning like they're from inside, they're able to be recognized, okay? And then Nanak te mukh ujjale, keti shutti naal. Who's going to translate this part for me? Keti shutti naal. This is our slok. I just thought we were going to spend like a minute on this, so everyone's going to just go, whoop. Yeah, I know this one. Come on, keti shutti naal. It's referring to something that they've done. So who has already focused on why Guruji, their faces are radiant, and when they've gone from this world gay, they've left this world with all this hard effort, they've gone now, where they've gone to Guruji, in the presence of Guruji with this shining face. What did they have the power to do? Keti?
Liberated.
Shutti. So the word shutti,
Liberated.
yes, over here shutti means liberated. Shutti doesn't mean like as in like stop, this is it, finished now, done. So that shutti means that too, but here means liberated. What does the word keti here mean? Huh? Ketiyan. So kinniya di, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕਿੰਨਿਆਂ ਦੀ ਨਾਲ ਛੁੱਟੀ ਕਰਾ ਦਿੱਤੀ, okay, ਨਾਲ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਲੈ ਗਏ. Yeah, so they were able to liberate many others and take them on that boat that they have sat upon of liberation. Shall we start the Bani then? Okay, so that's what Gunvanti means to me. Gunvanti is that being, that Gursik that is liberated themselves and has the power to liberate others too. Okay. So this is the first pankti now of the Bani itself. Okay. Jo dise gur sikhada tis never lago pae jiyo. Okay. So let's go through the first word. Let's break down some of the words and let's go through the word gur sikhada first. Before we put this into a sentence, before we try and understand it, do anything else, let's just pick out some of the words. So gur sikhada, somebody that has learned and taken on their Guru's wisdom. Okay? So we're happy, everyone? Let's look at a few different ways how this has been translated. So Gur Sikhada, Guru di Sikhya nu dharan wala. So someone that takes on Guru Sahib Ji's teaching. Okay? That's one way. Professor Sahib Singh, he said Guru da pyara, Guru's beloved. Guru di Sikhya den wala, Guru da Sikh, someone that spreads Guru's teaching. Baba Gurbani Singh, they've done that arth to it. Okay, so it just means that there's many ways of looking at this word. So Gur Sikhada, so now keep in mind Gur Sikhada is that Gur Sikh that has taken on Guru Sahib Ji's teaching, is living by Guru Sahib Ji's teaching, and that's somebody that spreads Guru Sahib Ji's teachings as well. Okay, so let's look at the next word. Let's look at the word niv. Should be nice and simple. The word niv. Depends. Okay. Yeah, that was right. So never jana. Nyoke, choke means to bend, to bow. So nimrata sahat, in humility. Okay, so it means to lower yourself in humility. Okay. So niv means to go down. Next word, let's look at lago. Lagana, lagajana. Yes, to attach. Okay, theek hai. Next word, pae. The word pae. Hands up, pae. What's pae? Sorry? Gain, yeah. I understand in which context you're saying. Or a lot of the time we would think pae as in it to put in, to gain, or to put in. Pae here, not in that context.
Pair.
Hanji.
Pair.
Hanji. Here we go. Okay, everyone got that? What is it? Yeah. So pae here is plural for, so it's feet, both of our feet. Yeah. So bad. Okay, and again, those that pronounce Gurbani grammatically, they would actually translate. They would pronounce this as baye, baye. So donne pair. Okay. Now, let's try and put this together. So we know some of the words now. Okay. So let's let's just look at the context of this Bani. Guru Arjan Dev Ji Shabad. So Guru Arjan Dev Ji Pachi is uttering this Shabad from the perspective of a Sikh. So they're not uttering this Shabad as in them to be a guru and they're giving upadesh to someone. So they're acting as if they're a Sikh and they're saying this. Okay, and they're talking out about this Guru Nanak. Okay, they're not referring to themselves as this Guru Nanak. Okay, and so who now wants to try and put this together? Jo dise gur sikhada tis nev lago pae jio. Who wants to try and put this into a sentence now? Indeed, okay, go on.
If I ever see a God Sikh, I will bow and attach to their feet.
Okay, so literally, more or less, yes. Okay, the only part I would just be a little bit more careful on would be, so when the part where it says Jo, the Jo here would be translated to Jeda V. Okay, Jeda V, whichever Sikh I see that lives by Guru Sahib Ji's teachings. So whichever Guru Sikhara, meaning that person that lives by Guru Sahib Ji's teaching. Not any old one that calls himself a Sikh. So this is just being careful the way Guru Arjan. Remember Guru Arjan Dev Ji saying this now. So whichever Sikh I see that lives by Guru Sahib Ji's teaching, I lower myself in humility and attach to their feet. Okay, lago, attached to their feet. So obviously this can mean literally as well. That Guru Sahib is saying that they're saying about themselves, I personally, when I see somebody that is following the Guru and is spreading the Guru's wisdom, Guru Sahib is saying that I will lower myself or bow before them and attach. Here, if we translate it literally, can mean that I will actually attach, meaning I will grasp hold onto their feet. But it means something a bit more than just that. So let's just get everyone's perspective on it. What does it really mean to lower yourself before someone?
Showing
Sorry?
respect. Showing respect.
Excellent. Yeah, showing respect. So there's no, I'm not looking for a one specific answer here, by the way. This is just to get everyone to contribute, and I'm here to learn as well. We're at this part. Not all the time, I'm here to teach most of the time.
As if to look up to.
Yes, somebody, so lowering yourself means when you actually look up to somebody, respect them. Respect is a huge goal, is a huge virtue that is needed, that Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji said that if you want to learn something from another Gursikh, that the only way you're going to be able to do that is if you've got respect for that person. If you haven't got these things, you won't be able to take anything from them. So you might go and fall at their feet, but if you haven't actually got respect for them, you won't even be able to take anything from them. Okay, so this is excellent. So this is anyone want to contribute to that?
Going without the vices and being prepared to learn.
Excellent.
So if you're going with
I understand.
Yes,
so you're going in humility, obviously going without your vices could be difficult, because sometimes the reason we're going to someone like that is because we're full of vices. But I understand in the sense of that you're not going with them and attacking them with your vices. Okay, excellent. And the second point was, so going without your vices.
So you're prepared to learn, because if you're going to go with ego, you're probably going to be batting with your mind, not taking on board what you're learning.
Yes. So coming back to the thing that having that sadaqah and respect for them. Okay. VG was gonna.
And give up your mat, whatever they are, whatever they're sharing with you, to actually give up your own mat and take it on it.
Yes. So what does it mean to lower yourself before someone? So often there's a pangati in Gurbani as well that sometimes is taken a little out of context, but it's important for us to look at, because there's many times we probably fold our hands in front of somebody. We get into a habit of touching people's feet, and obviously we all do matha tek to Guru Granth Sahib Ji, Paatshah Ji, and some people do matha tek to Mahapurkhs or and whatever it may be. But obviously lowering yourself doesn't mean that, you know, putting your hands up and then at the same time saying, whoa, you know what Guru Sahib is saying here, that salam, jawab, do back kare, mundaho, uttha, jai. So what Guru Sahib is saying here is that salam means putting your hands together, jawab means to refuse, okay? Salam, jawab, dove, do both. So you do matha tek as well, you put your hands together as well, but at the same time, you refuse as well. Dove kare. So mundaho uttha jai. Mundaho means right from the very beginning, uttha. Uttha means wrong. You've gone wrong from the very beginning. This sometimes can be taken as negative vichar, that oh, they've been a bit harsh here, you know, like, you know, how, so if, you know, that they don't listen to everything and they put their hands together. So what does this pankti really mean? Often this is how we see it translated. This is how it's translated most of the time as well. It's mostly translated and it's taken in that way to say, oh, what's the point? You're putting your hands together, but you're putting your hands up as well to the Guru, what's the point? And you're doing that to Gursikhs as well. But what it actually means, this is, it's saying those who sometimes fold their hands, accept. So that folding hands here is referring to accepting. Okay? So it's saying that those who sometimes fold their hands, accept, and sometimes refuse their master's order, have gone wrong from the very beginning in how the master-disciple relationship actually works. So this is what this pankti is actually referring to. It's not referring to that, oh well, you know, you put your hands together to someone or to Guru Sahib Ji or to a Gursikh, and but you're not interested in anything they've got to say, so what's the point, and you shouldn't put your hands together at all. Because that can sound very negative, and you know, and then we could put people off even doing matha tek sometimes. We could put people off even putting their hands together in front of a Gursikh sometimes, and we'll say like, oh, what's the point of your whole doing this matha tek, it's a waste of time, you know, if you're just doing jawab, if you're refusing. And a lot of the time this is what people say, but this I feel is very negative way of looking at this. It doesn't mean that there's no point of you doing that matha tek, there's no point of you putting your, physically lowering yourself in front of somebody, okay? What we want to take out of this is what Guru Sahib is saying. Let's just go back a little bit, really understand this. What does it actually mean to lower yourself? What it actually means to lower yourself, Guru Sahib is saying, is to accept sweetly what your Guru, what your master, or for that instant, for that moment, what that Gursikh is guiding you to do. Lowering yourself means accepting. But they're saying what happens is those who sometimes fold their hands, accept, but sometimes they refuse as well. That's not how a guru-disciple relationship works. It's not that, well, you know what, I'm going to come to you, but I'm only going to take some of what you say away. I'm only going to accept, and I'm only going to accept sweetly some of the things that you were saying to me. So lowering yourself actually means accepting sweetly what your Guru has to say to you. Okay? And what it means to do jawab is then when you're not accepting, when you're refusing is just when you're not in acceptance to what even the Guru is saying to you. Okay, but disciple is that puts completely their own way of thinking aside and away, and is accepting to whatever Guru Sahib is saying. Okay, but that doesn't mean just because somebody comes to Guru Sahib and at the moment they're not accepting and they're not doing everything, that doesn't mean they stop doing matha tek. Okay, but real humility is when you follow what they are saying, when you accept what they are saying. Okay, so we shouldn't be negative towards people, because Guru Sahib Ji has said that kar sadhu anjali pun vadda hai, kar dandaut pun vadda hai. Guru Sahib Ji has said that kar sadhu, that before a sadhu here referring to Guru Sahib Ji, that greet the holy saint with your palms pressed together, this is an act of great merit. Bow down before him, this is a virtuous action indeed. So we've got to be careful not to put somebody off. Sometimes we'll see somebody When they might not be following what Guru Sahib Ji is saying, but they're doing Matha Tek, and then we'll say, oh, what's the point of you doing this Matha Tek as well? What's the point of you going to that particular Gursek when you're not even listening to what they're saying? Don't put people off, because Guru Sahib Ji is saying, even a physical act is still a good action, it's still a good deed, okay? Because we've got to work at people at their levels. But at the same time, it doesn't mean, so who Guru Sahib Ji is referring to at this point is that when there's people that have got bad intentions, that people that are doing Matha Tek have absolute no respect and they've come with a bad intention. So Guru, yes, towards those people, not towards those people, they don't have negative feelings towards Guru Sahib, but they're not able to follow Guru Sahib yet. Remember, there's stages that we come to Guru Sahib Ji in, and Guru Amar Das Ji Pachi explained these stages, and they say that Tan, Man, Tan, Sab, Somp, Gur ko Hukam Manne Paya. What Guru Amar Das Ji is saying, these three stages are, they're saying, obviously, we want to be in that position where we're able to give all of these three things, Tan, Man and Tan. So Tan is Tatanana is Tan, Tatanana, Tan is body. Okay? Tan and then Man, mind, and then Tan, Tada, and then Bindi, Tada Tippi, and then Nana is wealth. Referring to over here, everything I have is yours. Okay? But Guru Sahib Ji put Tan first, Guru Sahib Ji put body first. So sometimes, if somebody is coming only with a physical body to Guru Sahib Ji first, but aren't following what Guru Sahib Ji is saying, that is a great act in itself for that person, because we don't understand what background they may have come from. They might have come from an absolute, really rough background, and they're just trying to get away. Okay, I'll give you an example of something that happened with us a couple of years ago. So we'd see somebody at Park Avenue Gurdwara in Southall, and there would be somebody that would regularly come, and he was Mona, so he had a haircut, and he would regularly come to the Sunday Katha. And we saw that he's been coming for about 6-7 months, but he was still cutting his hair, didn't really. We might have looked at it in the sense of that he's not progressing, okay. But you know how we sometimes just judge somebody, and then one day we got talking to him. So I think it was during the Q&A session, and Ravinder was with me as well, and we actually approached him and just got talking to him, and we asked that, how have you come about and how have you started coming to the Gatha? And he said basically, he goes, I used to come to the Gurdwara to eat, and he goes, I had no interest in coming to listen to anything inside. And again, the moment somebody says that, we'll start judging them. We'll think, la, tu bas Gurdwara roti khana aunda. But we gave him that opportunity to speak, and he goes, the reason why I come here to eat is, because my mom's addicted to drugs and she's an alcoholic, and my sister is too. My father's not around, and they don't really tolerate me because they're always intoxicated. He goes, so I don't feel welcome at home, and he goes, I spend most of the time in an outhouse at the back of the garden, and he goes, they don't make food, they don't earn, so we've not really got money. And he goes, we haven't got food in the house. He goes, so somebody said that, you'd always get food at a Gurdwara. And he goes, I just started coming here and eating. He goes, and then one day, he goes, as I was eating, he goes, I was in the langar hall. He goes, I heard that somebody speaking in English in the bar sahib. And he goes, I thought, that's odd. He goes, you never hear anybody speaking in English in a Gurdwara. So he thought, you know what I'm going to do at home, I just might as well go and see what this guy's saying. So he goes, I started learning. He goes, I'm addicted to it now. He goes, I love coming and listening every week. He goes, I get to have a munch, and he goes, because I haven't got anything to give to the Gurdwara, he goes, I feel bad for eating here. He goes, so I try to only eat not more than one prashada, not more than once a day. And he said, but he goes, because I haven't got anything to give. And we said, look, don't worry, just you eat as much as you want, tu ted bar ke kha. And he started coming to the Gatha for that reason. And Guru Sahib Ji's Kirpa, I started coming to the Gatha, and then when I would go, and he'd make an effort, a special effort to come and sit at the front and come and speak to me, and he'd really enjoy the gatha because a lot of it was Saki based and story based. And one of the days we were sitting there, and again, like my wife didn't know his background, his story, so she's looked at him. She can be a bit let's see what's the best way to describe it. Direct. I was going to say abrupt. Yeah, direct's good. Yeah. So she was like, "Why hasn't he kept his case yet?" I was like, "Shh, shh, shh." Don't say anything. And because we're just thinking, oh, he's just like, he's not progressing. He's in the same place. What's the point? What's the point of listening to gatha? So all of that. So like, we don't realize that somebody just coming with their body is a big thing. Somebody just doing mathatek is a big thing in itself. Never put them off, and never say to them, well, I think you shouldn't bother because you're not taking anything on. Yes, if somebody's got absolute bad intentions and they're out there, but even them, you just don't know what they're going to hear. But anyway, like, it kind of paid off. I don't know what happened. I saw him about 2 weeks later, and he's got a bit of a beard, and he's got this rough looking, like, kind of the star and a bit of a damalla kind of on. And he goes, because I only want to tie the damalla. And he's like really skinny guy, like, but very much into his martial arts, and he's a kickboxer. So he goes, it looks rough. And he goes, because I've only wore it today, because I knew you was going to be here. And he said, I can't wear it obviously all the time because my friends are going to laugh at me. And I was like, no, don't worry about how it looks. I go, that's an amazing attempt for the first time. I go, you should have seen Ravs when he first tied at the start, and I go, that's really decent, And I go, like, don't worry about your friends. They'll just adjust to you, and maybe they're not the right friends anyway if they're going to laugh at you at the start. And Guru Sahib's Kirpa, he didn't take it back off, and then he just fell in love with Shaheed Singhs. With the Babbas, and he started tying the mala just like all the Shaheed Singhs. And Guru Sahib's Kirpa is like, I think he's taken Amrit now, and I've not seen him for a while. But never like kind of be negative towards somebody. And even though like Guru Sahib is saying that salam jawab dono kare, that actually Pangti is talking about a disciple guru relationship. And if you go to a Gursik that you respect, it means that you don't go with that intention. You've gone wrong from the very beginning. If you go with that intention to think, I'm only going to take some things on, some things that I'll bow in humility, meaning I'll accept, but in some things, is not going to be for me. That's not how the relationship works. He's saying the relationship is based on that you go with a clear mind to take on from them. So, jo dise gur sikhda this never lago paye jiyo. When I see this Pangti, for me this Pangti is saying that when I see a Gur Sikhda, when I see a Gunavanti, when I see somebody that is just overflowing with Guru Sahibji's Bani, overflowing with Guru Sahibji's walk of life, and that Nev for me means that I take on and I accept what they're saying, and that lago paye. For me, lago paye, that attaching to their feet means that I walk in their footsteps, in the footsteps that they are drawing out for me, that route that they are showing me. So it's not just physically attaching to someone's feet, but it actually means following somebody's footsteps, okay, that they are laying out for you. Not meaning copying them, not meaning doing what they're doing, but meaning doing what they are asking you to do, okay? So that's how I would look at attaching yourself. Second Pangti now, that Akha Birtha Ji Ki Gursajjan Deh Melaye Jiyo. Okay, so let's just pick out a word to go through first. Let's go through the word Birtha. Please put your hands up so I can actually choose the one to go through the word Birtha. The word Birtha. Birtha means fruitless. Birtha means waste. Birtha means empty. Okay. So that's one meaning. That's and the second meaning is, anybody know the second meaning, Birtha? Virji, was you gonna?
I'm just having a rough guess.
Okay.
Like worthless.
Okay, so that comes into the same category as the first translation. Okay, kind of like we'll fall into that more so. But there's a second completely different translation to birtha, which is how it's come in this context of the Bani. So I'll say another pankti, you might kind of put, I'll say the pankti again. Akha birtha ji ki gur sajjan dehe milaye jiyo. There's another pankti where Guru Sahib ji saying that har darshan ko mera man bahut tapte jo trikhawant bin neer. Then Guru Sahib ji saying that hamri bedan har prab jane. There's a word called bedan, which is the same as birtha. Might help out here. Bedan, birtha, Eji.
A pain.
Yes. So the other meaning to birtha is state, pain, distress, the halat, what state we're in, pain. Okay, birtha. This is the context it's come in over here. That's why it's involved. G. So G. Some people would actually just pronounce this as G. They would long out the Bihari and they would just say G. But some people will actually say this part as G. Okay. So G. Hanji? Hanji. Excellent. Excellent. That is one of the all heart. Somebody said these are all the right translations. Okay. So G can be translated to life, soul, heart, mind. In this context, mind. How are we going to decide that it's going to be mind over here? Okay. So remember, look, before we go on into translating this next pankti, just get some clarity for yourselves as well. The first pankti. Okay. So think of yourself now. Remember, you're going to live these words. You're going to now. Guru Arjan Dev Ji Pach is teaching us how to become that humble Gursik and saying that Jo dise Gursik khada, whatever Gursik I see, not Guru Arjan sees, not just me. Everyone's going to feel this now collectively. Remember, we're trying to bring this out and make this real for ourselves. That Jo dise, whichever Gursik I see that is living upon Guru Sahib Ji's words, that is spreading Guru Sahib Ji's words, that is following that righteous path. Jo dise Gursik khada, this never that I want to bow myself, I want to lower myself in humility before them. This never lago paye jiyo, that I want to go and attach myself to their feet. And remember now in which way this means. I would do this physically too, but I would want to take it further than just doing it physically as well. I'd want to walk on that same path that they're walking on and take that from them. Okay? So feel what we're going through. G, let's go through another word. Let's go through the word sajjan. Hands up. Hanji. Friend. Yes. Okay. Mittar all means friends. It means something in particular as well. It does mean friend, yes. But what type of friend? What are we actually looking for? The word sajjan has got an actual particular word for it. Go on then.
Is it companion?
Yes. Sajjan, also referring to a companion. Okay. What? Just quickly describe what companion is, because in Gurbani it's like it's very relevant that we understand in which context companion.
Someone following the same path and helping you along as well.
Yeah, but what is it?
It's like
companion is someone
in constant company of, so whether you feel their presence or they're actually physically with you. So it
Yes.
can be physical and non-physical.
Yes, somebody that can accompany you at all times. Somebody that a companion is that person that can be with us at all times, that never leaves our side. But shall we put this into a sentence now? I'll say the first part, and that way we understand where to put the bisrams as well, so we know where to put the pauses as well. Akha, this would normally be pronounced with a bindi at the end, okay? By some people. So Akha, birtha, ji ki. So that's nice and simple. Akha, birtha, ji ki. Somebody put that into a sentence. Akha means to say. So I am saying. Yes? Oh, that means I'm translating it. Akha, birtha. Now we know what birtha means. What am I doing? What am I saying? What am I putting before you? Birtha, my what? My state, my pain. Okay? Akha, birtha, ji ki, of what? Of my ji, of my mind, yes. So now we know that why we're translating. Later on, we'll be able to confirm why we can definitely translate G to mind over here. So we've got that part. The second part, and then now what is this? Gur sajjana deh milaye jiyo. What is this referred to as? It's doing a
Plea.
sorry?
It's a plea.
Yes,
Plea.
a benti, a plea, okay? So it's a request. So what is this same person saying now? Remember, it's a conversation. Imagine two people now. Imagine yourself, you've gone to this Gursik that lives the Guru's way and is just overflowing with Guru Sahib Ji's love. And you're pleading now. It's about you and it's about me. And we're pleading to this Gursik that is this Gunvanti and saying that Gur Sajjan Deh Milaye Jiyo. What is that? What am I saying? What are we saying to this Gursik? Hands up. Hanji, Guru Naal Milade Menu Vi. Somebody now in English? Okay, yes? Yes, let me unite with my Guru. Okay? So it's a continuation from the first Pankti, okay? That I'll attach myself to your feet and I tell them of my inner pain. Because remember, this is perspective from Guru Arjan Dev Ji. Guru Arjan Dev Ji is telling us what I would do. They're saying what I would do if I met a Gursik. Okay? So they're saying that the Guru Sahib is saying, I will tell them my inner pain. And then beg the Gursik to unite me with my true companion, my Guru.
Vaheguru, 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 Vaheguru.